Okay, this recording will hopefully step you through the process of taking taking an audio file from the logger, extracting an interview, and then posting it to the website as a podcast. It's a bit of a long one, but I hope you enjoy it. I'm doing it by remote control today, so it might look a little bit funny. Somewhere on your computer, we'll start off by getting the audio. Somewhere on your computer you should have an audio logs folder, and this is the one I have. We are looking today for an interview on the 28th of September, so I'm just scrolling back down to the 28th. 28th of September, here we go, and it was from the 9 to 12 bracket. There we go. 9 to 12, there we go. Alright, and I know the interview starts around just after the 1 hour mark, so I'm going to jump ahead a bit.
They all had their
there somewhere.
And about
Alright, so press the letter B to start
good
the
morning, everybody.
mark in.
My
There we
name's
go.
Paul Tully, and I'm delighted
And now
to have-
scrolling across to find the end.
the water level.
Well,
Which when we get to it.
You've made hard decisions in the past with the rate rises, and I'm sure, sure you're going to have to deny out the Eastman Public Exhibition if they want to make comment.
Indeed. Terrific. Thanks very much, Paul.
Thanks very much. All the best.
Alright, so we've got the beginning and the end marked off now. We need to save that file into the interviews folder. So File, Save Selection. We're going into the Google Drive. Now where you find this on your machine might vary, but you can usually get to it from a computer and then go to Google Drive, My Drive, Interviews. Okay, the format of the name is usually going to be the date. So 2023-09-28- now you can see that someone's actually done this one ahead of me, so that's saved me a bit of typing. But yeah, so normally the format is the date, who it is who's being interviewed, where they're from or what the interview is about, and then in square brackets at the end, the name of the interviewer. So we'll just overwrite that one just as an example. Okay, so we've done the first part, which is to extract the audio. Now what should happen in the background is that this is now being uploaded to a website. Not as a podcast, just as an audio file. Now that particular website, if we jump onto the internet, I'll go to it for you now. If I go to Index of Interviews, so it's terram.guyra.net/interviews, that's the server that's hosting the audio. And because it's been done with that format of the date, the latest one should appear at the end. And there it is there. Yep, and it's the right size. Okay, so we're happy with that. We can, if we want to, just preview it, see what it sounds like. So you click on that, it should start playing. Should start playing. It has stopped. I can see actually in the background it's busy uploading the new version, so that's probably why it's gone missing. Because we overwrote it, of course. It's uploading in the background. As I said, it should take a moment or two. If for some reason it doesn't show up in this list after a few minutes, you know who to call. So I'll just refresh this page now. That file should have the updated date and time. There it is. I'll try and play it again. Sam?
Well, good morning, everybody. My name's Paul Tully, and I'm delighted to...
And yep, that's working fine. So we've got the first step done. We've got our interview loaded to the website. What we need to do now is to... Well, there's a few different things you can do. I'm going to bring up a second tab, make it easier for me. Go to podcast. We're going to add a new episode. So password's already saved there. You might use that one. You might have your own account depending how it's been set up. All right. So what are we going to put here? It's a good question. I'm not entirely sure what the format is that we've been using, so I'm going to jump across to the website and just check what format we've been using up until now. So it's been the date. So basically the full file name by the looks of it. So okay, that's fine. Yep, alright, so we're just using the same format as that. So I'll just go and get the file name, copy it to the clipboard to save myself a bit of typing, because the less I have to type, the better. My Drive Interviews, we'll go and find it, be down the end there somewhere. Just going to press F2, copy that file name and get out of that. And so that's going to become the title for our podcast for today. And this is just a monthly interview with Sam Copeland is pronounced, Mayor of Armidale Regional Council. Ideally, we'd have a lot more text there, explaining what the content of the interview is, so people will be able to find it, search engines, all that jazz. We're a bit short on manpower for that sort of thing. Maybe someday somebody would like to do that. Or it could also be a responsibility of the interviewer to create that summary for us. We need to have a link to the audio address, so we're going to go right-click on that file and go copy link address. That means now that's a link to that audio. Back to our tab here with the details of the podcast. So the podcast file, we pasted it in there. I know it looks a bit funny because of the way that spaces are converted to those characters. The image for this particular podcast, we've got a bunch of them here. We just usually use the default one, so we just go PODC. There is the default 2ARM podcast image. Nothing fancy to do there. Nothing else we have to fill in down this side. What I might do for this podcast, because it is one of our regular podcasts, I need to find the section here which defines what group it's in. Where is it? Permalink series. Oh, series. Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to put this under monthly mayoral intervals, monthly mayoral interviews, and that way it'll be accessible as a separate listing on the website. Okay, so I think we've got everything in there. We've got the audio, we've got the link to it, we've got the image. Now, date and time. You've got the publication date and times here as well. What I might do is be a bit cheeky, because this interview actually happened a long time ago. I'm going to go back to September the 28th and list it in there as to be published. As if it happened on the 7th of September the 28th. Don't really care about the time, that's about right anyway. And we look at the publish button. It says, are you sure? Yeah, so yes. That's done. We can now go view episode. And we should be able to see our podcast. Here it is.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name's Paul Tolley, and I'm delighted to have Mayor Sam Copeland in the studio with me this morning to have our monthly chat, as we generally do after.
You can usually do him at 1.4, 1.2 if you're struggling. That, of course, is just for listening. It's not saved anywhere. So there you go. We have just done a podcast onto the website.